Action.
Set my soul free, nah, nah. Pick a number. I am the one. I am the one. I am the one.
There's a huge connection between running this business and contesting the WEC Championship. It's high pressure, you've got to be thinking the whole time, you've got to be prepared the whole time, you've got to be thinking ahead of the curve. That's what our business is about in terms of keeping on top of the restorations, keeping on top of all the cars that are in our care and storage, in terms of sales, the preparation of the cars, pre-sale, as well as thinking about what stock to buy next. You've got to be continually thinking ahead of the curve, as I said. And it's a little bit like that in racing. You know, you may have some tyre deg, you may have someone driving into the side of you, you may have the heat, you may have the rain. And that's the same in our business. It's, you know, fine-tuning every single corner of it all the way along so that our clients, their experience can be as high quality as possible and as seamless as possible. You know, we do pride ourselves at DK on the complete service. It's about being able to just cover every base for the collector client that we have, that we look after these days, and making it as easy as possible, and, you know, offering as hopefully the right advice and the best advice. It's a magic circuit, so much history, undulations, Eau Rouge, of course.
Yeah, the first time is quite not scary, but you just don't know where you go.
Over the curb on the left at the bottom, into the compression, and then up, and all you can see is the sky. You can't see any trees, any of the track at the top. Spa is definitely one of those circuits where you notice the size of the crowd. There was a huge crowd last year. We expect a massive crowd again tomorrow. You know, that's part of the charm of the championship. You know, you're doing a world championship, and it's fantastic to have all of the fans and spectators, and I've got some friends and family here this weekend. I think for them it'll be a real eye-opener to see how big a race event this is. Last year we had good pace here in qualifying. We were right up the sharp end. Our car, the 59 car, we had a really good race. So yeah, we've come here with very high hopes. Try and get back on that podium and lift some trophies again.
I'd say the best thing about working for United is definitely the people. We spend probably more time with each other than we do our family. With working these long hours is no less than a miracle, but I think we would all consider each other family. I'm Ashley Dean. I am the Team Coordination Manager for United Autosports. I have worked for United for over 10 years. I actually started straight from university. I started as admin. Then from 2016, I moved into a team coordinator position. And since then, I've progressed to team coordination manager, and we cover 4 different championships, including some historic racing. In the lead up to an event, essentially my role is to make sure that everyone's going to get there on time, has got a car to drive, food to eat, and clothes to wear, and a bed to sleep in. I deal with the team managers, the drivers, basically all of the different departments and the organisers to ensure that everything runs smoothly and nothing is dropped.
What's it really like to be a woman in motorsport?
I would say that we are in the minority, but I think there are more women every year as I go into the paddock. You see more and more. For me, certainly, my position has always been quite female orientated. Every team coordinator I know is a woman. I don't know whether that's just that we're genetically better at being mothers and organising people, I'm not sure, but certainly I think from that standpoint, there's always been a lot of women in that position, so it's never been noticed that much for me.
What would be the best advice to the younger girls out there?
I think for my position specifically, we certainly when we've been hiring for team coordinators at United, we don't look necessarily for a motorsport background. For me, it's definitely more important to be super organised, to be really conscientious, to have confidence to be able to be dealing with a large group of people, generally a large group of men. You have to have something about you to be able to be firm with these boys. It's definitely more, event management, even if it's volunteering. For me, that kind of experience is definitely what's going to get you the job.
Can you describe us the weekend so far?
Our weekend hasn't entirely gone to plan so far. During free practice 1 and 2, combination of some minor technical issues and a lot of red flags unfortunately meant that I didn't manage to do a huge number of laps before I went into qualifying. So felt like I was sort of chasing my tail today in FP3, trying to get up to speed with only a few laps under my belt.
Yeah, the quali I would say was not so good. We finished we just finished P14 and P16 with the team.
And went into qualifying, a positive head in place. Unfortunately, I realised sort of towards the end of qualifying, because they were a bit quiet on the radio, we probably hadn't made hyperpole. So during my WEC career so far, this is the first time I haven't made hyperpole.
I mean, James did his best, but we clearly see like we are lacking of speed compared to the others. Of course, we wanted to start more in front, but there is still 6 hours of race tomorrow, and we will fight hard to gain position.
So we just have to focus on the race ahead now. Obviously there's some work to do overnight, both from a driver's point of view and from the team's point of view, to make sure that we start with the best car we can and the best strategy. Of course it's a little bit demoralising, but someone's got to start from the back. And actually we have to, as drivers, have a clean race, a fast race, and stay out of trouble.
We go green at Spa. The pole sitter leads down into the first corner. The red flag of Niklas Nielsen.
Start of the race was tough. Obviously we were starting P16. I had a really good run at the start, and through Eau Rouge I carried a lot of speed, and on the way up the hill I think I was probably on the verge of, it felt like overtaking 4 cars. But as we were approaching Les Combes there was a yellow flag, so I wasn't able to take advantage of that. And thereafter I just settled into a rhythm and had some really good battles with the Corvette, Lexus, the Mercedes.
He was P1 when he stopped, but with the strategy everyone maybe were in the top 5, starting P16, being top 5 after 2 stints. It was an amazing job from James.
From there on, it looked like we were going to have a great race, but unfortunately at that pit stop we had a technical issue where the roll cage padding had rotated and the door would not close. And it took a little while for the guys to work out what was going on. It's easy to assume that it's the latch. And we lost 1.5 minutes, so we were dead last after that pit stop. Following Sebastian's delayed departure, he got his head down, and actually, we were fortunate there was another safety car, and he managed to get through the pack a little bit, but was in amongst a gaggle of really quite aggressive and competitive cars. We could just see it, watching it, that something was going to happen, because that particular driver seemed to be really elbows out and making contact multiple times. And unfortunately, Sebastian, on the way into Brussels hairpin, got hit at the rear and sent into the gravel and went into the wall.
So I get to put the reverse and go back in the box to analyze the car, to check the car. And the team, he worked very well and very fast. He lost 2 or 3 laps during the adjustment.
The guys did an amazing job to turn that around and get it back out. And thereafter, we just did everything we could, to get to the end of the race.
And then Seb went back, and then I went back in for the last 1 hour 20. And we were 3 laps down, so there was nothing to do, just to check the car and check how was the degradation.
I was fairly resolute when the car was in the garage. It's a shame, but we've got to have bad luck sometimes, and so to have a couple of bits of bad luck this weekend, I'll take it if we don't have it somewhere else, especially the next one being a big one. Get ready for the big one. Get ready for Le Mans.
Yeah, I'm very excited to go to the Le Mans with the 59 car. The whole team is focused for Le Mans.
Pretty sure if we put everything together, we show we can have a great pace. We can do really, really good race in Le Mans. La prochaine course sera la plus grande course de la saison, Le Mans. Donc je me réjouis d'y être et on se voit là-bas.